Hi, my name is Anne. I'm a PhD student at Strathclyde working in photonics. And before we start, I just want to say that Phil Buckle was my lecturer during my undergrad in Cardiff. And he tried to teach us quantum mechanics, and his lectures were always the most entertaining ones. And today I sadly don't have any Simpsons memes or Doctor Who references, but I will try to do him justice. Alright, so before I start, who here has a device with them that contains microchips? Phone, laptop, smartwatch? Because they are everywhere. Our modern life wouldn't be the same without them. So how can we possibly make it better? Well, my project is looking on photons. Individual light particles do not interacting with each other or with the outside world, which means if we use photons instead of electrons or the microchips, they won't heat up as much. Plus, they travel at the speed of light. An electron only travels about 1% of that. So imagine your computer CPU running at the speed of light without heating up. Sounds fantastic, right? So-called photonic integrated circuits, or PICs, are faster and have a lower power consumption. So how do we make them? I'm using what is called a heterogeneous approach. That means I'm using different materials to achieve the device properties I want, and then I combine all those different materials and devices into one single chip. A bit like in a Lego store, I go and pick the ones I want and place them all together. Now, the most important thing I want is a single photon emitter. For that, I have a cantilever that has been under edge, so it's hanging freely from a support structure. This has then been treated to encourage the growth of nitrogen vacancies. Now, the trouble is, nitrogen vacancies are crystal defects, and they make for excellent, bright and stable single photon emitters at room temperature. The trouble is I don't exactly know where they're from because atoms have a mind of their own. So I take a sample with thousands of them and put it in my confocal setup. And that will then go and scan each individual cantilever, telling me where there's emittance. And once I find a suitable one, I can go and perform further tests on it. For example, a Henry, Brown and Twist measurement that confirms if this is a single photon source or not. Once I have suitable cantilevers, I can go and then transfer print them. For that, I take my little stamp here and bring it close in contact with my cantilever. Now, it's still held by the support structure, but if I rip it off, it can easily be removed from that. I then go to my waveguide and slowly lower down my stamp, bringing the cantilever in contact with it. Now, the adhesion between the waveguide and the cantilever will be stronger than with stamp and cantilever, which means if I slowly lower it up, it has now been transferred to my waveguide. I can then take that and put it back in my server and confirm that I'm actually getting emission out of my waveguide as with the properties I want them. Now, for the final step of my project, so far I've been using my big setup with my big laser in it, but it is a bit cumbersome if you want it small enough to be put in your phone. So for the last step, we've been thinking about using little tiny micro LEDs. And the wide wavelength, they can be used to excite the single photons. So same procedure, I'll go and print them on top of my cantilever. And now I can electrically control single photon emission. That means if I press a button, I excite the cantilever and a single photon comes out. If I press two buttons, two LEDs activate, two indistinguishable single photons come out, or 3, or 10. And then we can place other devices on the chip as well, which are using those single photons. The point is, nearly endless possibilities. And that process, sorting, picking the best-in-class devices, and integrating them all together on one chip, that is at the core of it. And that process allows us to shape the future. Thank you.